But he came here, and he said he came here because we didn't show up when we said we were going to show up. We're late, so he figured he'd come down here to see what was going on. And he said he set out water and chips for us. Do you guys remember what the news said the other night? Like about him letting us use the bathroom and how courteous he was being to us and everything else? Like it tried to portray him like he was a good guy in the situation. So my thing is I understand him coming down here, and that's cool and all, but I still want him to get the message that we ain't playing around. So we're still gonna march over there. We're still gonna make the stand in front of his house. It's not, we're not, just because anybody opposed to that, if you're not opposed to that, clap your hands. I'm not saying, I don't know him personally, right? I don't know him personally, but I'm not gonna give anybody a chance to play me. Like, remember Officer Richards on Sunday? If you get the crowd to open up, I'll arrest her and take her away. They remember what they actually did?
They took her home.
Right, so I don't trust him or none of them anymore. So, just to make sure that he understands we're serious and that we ain't accepting no bullshit, we're gonna list our demands to him and the more in detail demands that we discussed to him now while he's here, but we still gonna march over there to his house. We're still gonna do a protest in front of his house. We might not hang out as long because we already talked to him, but we are gonna make that stand. We are gonna make that demonstration. It's not like you could just come. I just want you to know you can't just come here and we're just gonna stay here. We're just gonna stay quiet until you show up.
I didn't expect it.
Okay, cool. He said he didn't expect it, so he's planning on us to do this anyway. Yay! Okay, so now that we're all here in the living room, we wanted to talk to you about those demands. We wanted to reiterate them, but we wanted to reiterate them a little bit more because we heard that you said, well, there's already de-escalation training going on, and there's already non-biased training going on. But the non-biased training and de-escalation training that's going on now is bullshit. For instance, if I'm working at any regular place and they say, hey, mandatory training tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the media room, everybody come, you bring a notebook, it's mandatory required. You're gonna be sitting in there with the notebook listening to the person and you get tired and you get bored and you ain't listening to half the shit they say no way. And how would you teach de-escalation training and non-bias training in a building? You need to be out here with the people, getting to know them, introducing yourself, interacting with them, learning the things that bother them about you. You see what I'm saying? In order to be able to de-escalate them when they're dealing with you, right? This is my woman right here, right? Everybody who's been married a long time knows that in the beginning, you have all the turbulence because it's two separate people getting to know each other and conforming to be able to be one, right? So it's the same thing between the cops and the community, right? You're gonna have to take time to get to know us. You're gonna have to make compromises and changes as a unit in order for you to be able to serve us the best you can. There's a lot of things about me now, or about me in April of last year that are completely different now because of that woman right there. See, I'm her man. I protect her. I provide for her. I help her in any way I can. You see what I'm saying? I'm in servitude to her. That's my woman, right? And the police are here to protect and serve us. So they should be taking the time to get to know us, get to know our needs, what our problems are with them, how they are currently, and what they need to do to be able to conform and change, to be and compromise to be able to meet our needs. You can't do that where you are. You got to come out to the neighborhood. So the non-bias training and de-escalation training that we're asking for, just so we're specific, so you understand us, is ones where we're involved, where minorities from the community are involved, interact with the police, where we can see and scrutinize what they're doing, where we have a voice in that training. Having a black police chief do the training don't mean shit to us. 90% of us don't know him personally. And he could be just like, what's the lady's name that was defending Donald Trump and was saying that Police brutality in black communities is a rumor. Yeah, it could just be another Candace Owens. Police brutality in the minority communities is a rumor? That's what she said. She's black. So people think just because you got a black person doing something, that means we trust that person. We don't give a fuck if they're black. We give a fuck if they know. You see, there's white people in this crowd, right, that I got more in common with than most of the black people in positions of authority in the city. Because they actually come from these neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like that needs to happen. We feel like that needs to happen. That's what's been brought to my attention to tell the youth that we want that the non-bias training and that de-escalation training to happen with people from this community, where people from this community can scrutinize it and they can observe it. Not only that, but we want you guys to get either replaced, the police, either replaced or to be trained by healthcare professionals, mental health care professionals, both, right? There's been an instance recently where a guy he couldn't breathe and he couldn't move, right? And the cop was telling him, get out, and popped him. The cop didn't recognize that he couldn't breathe and he couldn't move. So he shot him dead. Now imagine if that cop had been trained by a healthcare professional to see when somebody's exfoliated. Then it'd be like, are you okay? And then it'd been a whole different story. It'd been a CPR moment instead of a judge and jury right now moment. See what I'm saying? An unarmed civilian. So, same thing with Mike Marshall. They're yelling at him and beating him up. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He has mental problems. Or the guy who was a schizophrenic and the other guy's trying to calm him down and shoot the other guy on camera. That should have never happened. But if the cops knew what was there and what was going on and they were trained to know that, then they would have been able to handle it differently. Now that's giving them the benefit of the doubt, not saying they're murderers who would have just killed the person anyway. So cops that got anger problems, aggression towards other people who are racist and prejudiced, they should be removed from the police force completely. What's the lady's name?
Who?
The lady that they just fired, the black woman. They had been complaining about racism in that office.
In his office.
Anybody know her name?
Atkinson.
Atkinson. Why was she fired?
It's a personnel issue. I'm not going to talk about confidential.
Okay. Do you got proof that she did something to violate your policies?
It's confidential information. I can't give that out.
Okay, well listen. From now on, what we want your office to have more people of color in it, and we want, if you're going to fire somebody, right, of color, since we have this bias going on that we're aware of, we want them to be able to know that you verbally warn them. It's written on paper at least 3 times before you kick them out. Unless they did something like sharing confidential information in the media or something like that. But if it ain't something like that, there needs to be they need to be defended like they got a union without a union. Because this whole situation.
I agree with that, so everybody hears me. I agree with that. I 100% agree with making sure that anybody who, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Anybody who we want to educate and help people. We want to make sure that people can succeed.
Well,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Colored people get written up.
Yeah, I got this to say to you. Since you just said that, right? There's a Hebrew proverb, right? It says, do not be trapped by the words of your mouth. Do not be caught by what you have said. Say that again, what you just said about educating.
Me?
Yeah, you said we want to educate people.
In my office, I want to make sure everybody is following the rules and is following
No,
the
what you
policies.
just said about education.
That's it, following the rules and letting them know what those rules are, and making sure and giving absolute opportunities for people to thrive and succeed.
But you used a different word though. You used the word educate.
I meant on the policies that we have.
Okay, well I want you to mean that
Okay.
in university.
Okay.
Because that's the next thing. We want those schools open. We want the Black Child Family Institute open. We want you to see to it that it happens. We ain't asking.
Yes, sir.
And we don't want it open 2 years from now. So whatever money you got to take from them, I'm gonna say this again, I'm gonna give you an idea, right? I'm gonna give you some pointers, right? You know, since you said thank you for my advice yesterday, I'm gonna give you some more advice. And this is not coming from a mathematician I am not a financial advisor. I don't have no qualification to give you this advice other than I'm another grown-ass man with kids and budgets and stuff like that and common sense, right? So let me give you this common sense with this budget, right? If I had a bunch of M1s and AR-15s on a college campus where those aren't necessary, I wouldn't have them anymore if I had things that I needed to pay for, and I could use those to pay for them. Those cops at the college campus don't even need shotguns. When is the last time those cops had to use those assault rifles they got from Michigan State University? Have you ever heard of them having to use it? So why they got it? You're the mayor. What you mean you have no idea?
I wish I were the mayor, but I'm not the mayor
I
of
mean,
Michigan State
you're
University.
the governor.
I'm
No,
not,
he's
You are the mayor. You are the mayor.
but not of Michigan State University.
But you're the mayor of Lansing.
I am.
Right, and that's part of Lansing.
No.
Yeah, they have their own superintendent.
So then we need to go talk to them too.
Yes. They have it's actually in East Lansing, and they have.
You guys got guns like that too in some of your cars though.
Yeah, that big trucks too.
You guys have AR-15s. You guys have big ass 12 gauges.
I can find out.
What do you need those for if you have them?
I don't know that we have. I
Have,
can find out.
have you? Oh, I know. Because the cop just pulled over here the other day. One of them had an assault rifle, and the other one had a 12 gauge.
Okay.
So, what do you need those for? If you do have them, well, the ones that I saw, what do you need them for?
I can find out.
You can find out. Okay, so this is a common sense question, right? Have we ever had a standoff with like a gang or some bank robbers out here that you guys can remember? Anybody who you would need an assault rifle or a shotgun for? Have you seen the police having any standoffs with anybody like that? No? When's the last time you heard of a cop out here getting shot with a high-powered rifle or a 12 gauge? What do you need it for?
Again, I don't know. There were many different police agencies out here. I don't.
No,
know
there
which
was
one.
state police out here that had them, and there was Lansing police that had them. Actually, there's Lansing police right now that are driving right now that got them in the SUVs. They got 12 gauges sitting right here like this. They're upside down sitting right there in the middle. And if you don't have 12 gauges being aimed at you, if you're not facing that threat, then you don't need those guns. So you can use those guns to fund what we're asking for. Another thing, why do you need why do you need those brand new trucks? Why couldn't you have kept the ones that were working? Because you sell those, the Lansing Police Department, those old trucks, I know people who own them now that bought them in auctions. And I know people that bought state of Michigan police trucks. And they have under 100,000 miles on them. They work perfectly, they're pristine. What was the purpose of selling that and getting a brand spanking new one? Why couldn't you just keep that one and take the money you would allocate for those brand spanking new ones and invest that in your community where it's needed at? I wasn't asking you rhetorically. I wanted to hear your response.
Yeah, the cars, we got new cars for the first time in a long time, and the cars were in pretty bad shape. When they ride around, honestly, we all know there's lots of potholes and things. They get beat up pretty bad. All of our cars.
Our communities are in pretty bad shape, brother.
Absolutely.
Hey, check this out. Check this out. Let me ask you a question, right? So I have a 2008 Pontiac G6. I maintain it. Oil changes, tire rotations, and it works just fine. Why can't you guys just maintain your vehicles like we do, so that that money could be used in our community? Because honestly, that's not an excuse. You know, think about it. The police, you see them come out when they're needed, and then you see them come out and park and sit, right? But we drive back and forth to work every single day in the same vehicle. We drive every grocery store, hospital, everywhere we go in the same vehicle. We just maintain it and we keep it. So the average person doesn't have the money to buy a new 2020 something or other, right? We just keep what we got and we maintain it and we take care of it, right? So how is it that our police force has the money to buy those, but then we don't have the money as a city to go towards the things that we actually need? Like police to know how to identify when someone can't breathe, or police to know how to identify when somebody has psychological issues and they need somebody else there that the police is not qualified to deal with. When it's let me call a mental health professional and not pull out my gun.
We have sorry.
The mental health that he's talking about, that type of treatment and that type of training is imperative for our officers to have. It's imperative. There was a case that happened. Marquise Oliver. He's a Lansing guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he was in the custody of police when he was killed, you know, or when he came up murdered. His mom, she came out here and protested with us on like the first or second day, and she was
Monday.
still in distraught from this that happened in October and November of last year. Their whole family is saying that they know for sure Marquise did not kill his son. Marquise Oliver of Lansing. He was, you know, he was young, and he had a record. You know, he had a record. It wasn't that bad, but you know, he did have a record of being in and out of the system for years, you know. But it's just weird. It's very weird because when I read the article, they said in the article that he had mental issues, and he jumped out of the back of a rolling van that was on the highway. They were transporting him from one place to another. How does a person, a mentally ill person that is already in handcuffs, how do they jump out of the back of a van that is supposed to be locked anyways, and there's supposed to be guards all around you? That doesn't make any sense.
And you have, and speaking from experience, I've been transported from one jail to another here in Michigan in my lifetime. And what they do is they take a chain, they handcuff you right here, right? Put it behind you, and then they got a chain that goes down and your feet are handcuffed. You can't, and then they make you sit in the center if you're by yourself. So you can't, it's gonna be kind of tough to get all the way over here and unlock the door, and these doors are disabled. So you can't open them from the inside anyway. So how did he open, first of all, how did a man shackled wiggle himself over here, open the door, and open a disabled door? Because all your cars are disabled, not some of them, they all are. Unless he was driving in a special van that we don't know about. And then he hopped out onto the highway to kill himself.
And he was mentally ill. He should have been under the care of, you know, well-trained officials, mentally ill officials that was with him everywhere. And the Lansing Police Department wants to give the family this bullshit ass story, like and say that he committed himself. No charges or anything was even brought to the officers that was involved in that case. But the family, his sister, his mother, they all feel that Marquise was killed.
And at the bare minimum, when somebody is committed to the state, whether as an inmate or whatever, they're in the custody of the state. Adult or child, you are in the custody of the state, period. So once he was in the custody of the state, they are therefore responsible for him. You know how I know? When I was locked up out here, at one point in time, it got really, really hot because they couldn't control the heat anymore at the county. So they opened the windows. You know why? Because they couldn't have people in the cells having heat strokes and stuff. We were in there sweating, had to take our clothes off. You see what I'm saying? They had to keep giving us water. They couldn't let any of us die. They were accountable for us, right? So how were they any less accountable for him? Especially since he had mental problems. If he had mental problems, right, that's in his record, that's in his paperwork. So it shouldn't have been a cop in a van. It should have been a cop and a person who deals with people with mental issues in a van. Yeah, psychologist, clinical psychiatrist, therapist, somebody that could talk to him, somebody that could deal with him. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, this is the type of police force we want. A police force that is equipped to do that. We don't trust you or them to equip themselves to do that. So we want to be able to see it. We want transparency. We want to be invited to these things. We want these police to come out of wherever they're hiding, doing their training, and come into the community and do the training on the job, out there where they're actually interacting with us.
So community involvement with the training.
Yeah, community involvement and transparency with the training. And we don't want it to be a thing where it's like all of a sudden one day there's 4 police officers on Pleasant Grove and Holmes talking to people, and that was the training. No, we want this to be announced. We want to be invited to it. We want to be able to see it. People in the community to be able to sit back maybe 25 feet and watch the training, hear how it goes down, and then be able to come back to you and say, this is what was missing, or this is what was done right. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
That was a lot.
I do see what you're saying.
So that's what we want.
Okay.
And we want it. We don't want it 2 years from now.
I got it all down. We're putting this all on. I'm getting from you guys. I'm getting from others by email and Facebook. I'm taking everything very seriously.
So when are you gonna start working on it?
Today is Sunday. First time I met with you was yesterday. tomorrow
Is Monday.
Is Monday, and
Business
tomorrow
day.
we are going to. I'm actually gonna yes, we start working on this immediately. We're gonna bring together. We're gonna do a town hall. We're going to listen to you and others. We're gonna create an action plan, and it's gonna be pretty quick.
Okay.
Mental.
Boom. That's part of that. That's part of that screening we were talking about. Cause see, the thing about it is, how do you understand? How do you understand whether somebody is a racist or not? If you don't know how to see the sign.
You said mental health evaluations. Yes. Yes.
Right. Not just that thing where you sit there and the psychologist asks you this battery of questions and has you do this multiple choice test and then they tell you whether you're crazy or not. No, like literally, like we want them evaluated. We want them talked to. We want their lives known. We want their parents known, their upbringing known, the things that influence them to be the individual that they are. We want to see the type of shit that they're posting. Because a lot of, like that officer that killed George Floyd, if you saw the shit that was on his Facebook,
His social media.
you would have been like, why is he a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw he had other instances, right?
He
Yeah,
had
he
him. He had Make America
Just like
Great
Fabulous.
Again, but it was something racial. It was something like niggers,
Yeah, Make America White Again.
Make America White Again, or something like that. It was something racially. Yes, on his Facebook.
There's a lot of cops like that.
They're always
nationwide
gonna
that
show.
are-
You know,
Look,
they
I'm with
look
you.
it up.
That guy, he's a murderer.
They're always gonna. They're
got-
always.
More than that, it sounds like.
Hey,
Yeah.
that officer, we got one just like him here in Lansing. His name is Fabulous. Lansing Police Department. Yeah, look into him. Because the stuff that he does, like I got into it with him on Baker Street. I wasn't even involved with the people that he was trying to get a hold of. I come walking down the street because my cousin saw my car. And he's like, Paul, he's on the other side of the problem. So I pull over. I'm walking on the opposite side of the street. He's talking to these people. They're giving him a hard time. He's got 3 other officers with him. He turns around. Hey, where are you going? It's none of your fucking business where I'm going. I'm not involved in that. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't got shit to do with that. He watched me pull over. He knows I ain't got nothing to do with that. So why fuck with me? Then he wants to come over and grab me.
Wow.
So when he came over and grabbed me, I reacted like, you're a human, I'm a human, and you grabbed me. I didn't break any laws. You had no right to come over and grab me. You see what I'm saying? The only reason that I didn't finish him off is because there were other cops aiming guns at me. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is because I would have till you was asleep. You see what I'm saying? I'm not finna let nobody beat on me. I don't give a fuck who you are or what your title is. I wouldn't let you beat on me. And I wouldn't let anybody beat on you if I was walking by and seen it either.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got arrested in Lansing for seeing a guy beating up his girlfriend at the Quaddy Dairy. I didn't know either one of them. She was white, like white and Chinese, and he was a big black dude, and I jumped in to save him. And I got arrested because when the cops come, I had him on the ground. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who you are. If somebody's hurting you, I'm gonna try to jump in. That's how I am. You see what I'm saying? That's right.
We
And-
need to make that an ability for us. If we see something like that going down with the cops, we as civilians have got to be able to be protected, help saving that other person.
That's true too.
And not go to jail and be
Yes,
beat up
not go
for
to
it.
jail, not get beat up, not be arrested, none of that stuff. We should be able to save each other if something bad is going on.
You know what I think we really need? You know what I think we really need? What we really need is instead of a police force, we need a public safety force.
Yes.
And I think that public safety force should be comprised of mental health professionals, right? Just regular health professionals who know how to deal with like health problems and stuff like that, and people who are trained to use guns and things like that. I think it should be a combination of all of them.
I'm a nurse,
I was talking.
and I take down people without having to put my knee on their neck. Yeah.
And she's
So
a lady,
if we
too?
can do it, then I know the police can do it. And our patients get more violent than you've ever imagined. But we do it every day, every hour of every day. And we have yet to take a life like that. At McLaren.
Clarence,
Yep.
Greenlawn?
Yes. Yes. And in order to do things different, it's time for us in this city to do things differently. And we need to stand up and be held accountable for not just the police, but us ourselves. Because we just can't come at you and expect you to do things correctly until we also help you to do things correctly. And we come about it correctly. So that's why we standing here and asking for it. We want the same justice as anybody else walking down the street, based on whatever color, whatever gender, whatever sexuality anybody has. We deserve to be heard, and we deserve to be protected, and we deserve to be safe.
And that's why
You're on our way, as you see.
I'm listening. I know. I saw you as I pulled up. I saw you walking.
Let's get this clear, right? Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. You keep it real with me. I'm not a politician. I'm not a community organizer. I'm a gang member, right? And I decided to do right. You see what I'm saying? I have a little bit of pull in the streets around the country, and I got other homies in other states protesting the same way right now, right? That's what I'm using my little authority for, right? I'm a regular guy. I drive a regular car. I work a regular job. I don't sell drugs. I don't rob people or none of that. I'm just like everybody else standing here, right? I'm not a trained professional for this, that, or the other. I'm just a guy, right? So I'm telling you all that so you know who I am. I've been incarcerated. I was incarcerated, charged as an adult from when I was 14 to when I turned 19. See what I'm saying? I was booked over 23 times until about when I turned 23. My daughter was born, and everything changed. You see what I'm saying? So, she's 10. Yeah. So, and I'm 33. I'm about to be 34. So she's about to be 11. So
good luck, man.
Oh, I'm ready. I got a 12
gauge.
And I legally own it.
Right.
And I legally own it.
I got 2 of them, and shoot, I got a 14-year-old daughter, and
you better get a gun, man.
Get one out the cars that they ain't using.
Right. So listen, what I'm saying to you.
Held to the same law as citizens, because right now police officers are not held to the same standards that we can go to jail for committing a very simple infraction, and the police will get away with doing that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Higher accountability for higher authority.
Not the same. Higher. Like for instance, if we're going down the highway, right? You see that little thing that says authorized personnel only? That's because there's somebody with a higher level of authority than the average Joe that's allowed to access that, right?
Right.
So you see doors, authorized personnel only, all over the city on the side of these state buildings. That's because there's somebody with a higher level of authority that's allowed to enter those places. There's somebody on the side of that building right there. Authorized personnel only on the side right there. So if the police and court officials are allowed to enter in, we're not, right? They have a higher level of authority. They should also have a higher level of accountability. So it should be worse, like for them to commit a murder. There's been police who've committed murder, and you know what they did? They got paid leave, or they just got fired, right? No felony. You got fired for murdering somebody, and you can go get another really good job, right? If I kill somebody, I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. So, and I might go to prison without the possibility of parole, depending on how I kill him. If I shoot him point blank, like a lot of these cops have, they got paid leave, I'm going without the possibility of parole. He just got put on administrative leave.